Welcome back to the Hooligans pitch. As always, it's your boys Chad.
What's
and
up,
Mike.
Chad? What's up, Chad?
We out here. We missed a week, but we back.
Yeah, we're back. We've been quite busy. We've got to give us a little benefit of the doubt. We've had some busy schedules, but now I think we're settling. I ain't going anywhere for a while. It's good to see. It was good to see you in person.
Yeah, it's fun times.
I can't believe that was like only 5 days ago. Feels like feels like a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
And then we were just moving.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to watch the games together,
I
but
know.
you came into town right as I was about to leave town, so
Y'all knew I was coming. You're like, peace.
yeah, maybe. Well, anything to say about last week's games?
Let me do a quick little flash. Also, I just want to note I am hydrating tonight. I had a lot. I had a lot
So
this
am I.
weekend. Yeah, we're going water tonight. It's a smart move. I didn't even have a beer with dinner. Kristen, I was like, I drank too much this weekend. It's too much. It's too much.
It's good. You know, it's good to have limits. So
Yeah. All right. Looking at last week, just really quick, eyeballing everything. Nothing too crazy. I think everything was actually pretty straightforward. The Brighton Man U game, I think that was like maybe like the thing that popped things off for Man U,
Yeah.
considering all the drama that is going on with that team, and then especially in their last Champions League match. I think that was one that we'll kind of roll into these next couple weeks to see what happens. Luckily, there are a lot of really, really bad teams right now that are taking the spotlight away from them. Should we just knock out the one, or should we keep going on Man U here?
I mean, I feel like we got to move on from Man U. They got the win this week, so
Yeah, they moved on, but it was a impressive goal against, maybe on paper a team they should have always beat, but again they only won 1-0, and
it wasn't easy.
No, which is shocking, I guess. I consider that shocking considering how bad the bottom of the table has been. For Man U to get an amazing goal, by the way.
Oh yeah,
incredible pass by a senior citizen to a lightning quick volley by Bruno. So yeah, but good job, Man U. You beat Burnley. Pat yourselves on the back and let's move on. Okay, Chad, it's time. It's time we rip him again.
Good.
I'd
like to start with this.
If you had $1 billion, I think you could construct a squad better than Chelsea has at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like,
well, they take these good to average players that they had, they sell them, and then they buy a worse player for more money. That seems to be this trend. And they're like, 8 years. Just 8 years.
They see, this guy's young. He knows how to kick a ball. Sign him up. That seems like what their only requirements are. Is like young, can kick the ball, is willing to sign for 8 years. Like, which thus far has not proven to have worked in any manner. Like, no one out there looks good, especially good enough to want them around for the next 8 years.
They're at the point where they have this Argentinian on their team, and I think they're asking him, "Can you do what Messi does?" Because they're basically playing him as a center forward, like second striker position. I'm like, a year ago he was assisting from a deep playmaking position. Yes, the best player of all time, but you're getting confused on what he's good at.
Yeah,
what all their players are good at.
And that might be the thing too, is like they maybe don't exactly know how they all fit together, so they're trying to like force players into different positions and like play a different role now. And it's like if you're a teen, going through your football career and training and making it big, like you're more or less focused on like mostly like one position and the roles that come with that. And flex around a little bit, sure, but then to come into a team and now be asked to do something maybe completely different or just brand new to you, like it'll take time. I guess that's why you sign up for 8 years. You got time to work with them, but
I mean, not if they're not in the Premier League, which is the trajectory
yeah,
we're on.
yeah,
The biggest thing they needed this year was number 9, and I understand the potential in Nick Jackson.
hmm
5 yellow cards in 6 games, which is, first player to get suspended I feel like from a forward position like that. Why are
you
you
gotta be
getting all these
trying.
cards?
Yeah,
How is
yeah.
that possible?
And I think Pochettino got asked that in the post-match
Did he?
interview. He's like, yeah, he's Nick Jackson on 5 yellows, suspended. Like, what's going on there? And Pochettino basically just said like, oh, he's young, he has to learn. And it's like, okay, but like, this is also your
I have
starting
to learn.
striker. So
Dude, you got 32 games left and things aren't looking good.
yeah,
When's he
yeah.
going to
Which
learn?
I mean, that could just be his frustration as with how he's performing, how the team's going. It all kind of bubbles up at some point, and maybe a little breakaway will be good for him, and I don't know, maybe good for the squad to get someone new up top and try that. But I mean, their injury list is pretty long too, so I don't know if they have much of an option up top.
Well, and now they're not starting Chilwell, who I rate as probably one of their
Mm,
best players.
yeah, I
Um,
would agree.
I do want to say their left back showed up, and I thought he was probably their best defender in that game from what I watched.
Mm,
I thought his marking on Watkins when he eventually scored the goal was close to perfect. I mean,
yeah,
he blocked a crucial shot, and I think everyone else kind of was lazy to track back, and like there could have easily been people on that goal line
oh
instead of
yeah,
kind of ball watching, which I think that's why Caldwell, I think that's how you say his name, was so disappointed when he
yeah.
when they scored that goal. He was like, I just went all out for that, and no one else showed up. So that was probably extremely frustrating. But yeah, their injury list is crazy. They have the same amount of goals scored as Everton. Granted,
Oof.
Everton scored 3 this weekend, so it brought them up a little. But I'm like fascinated. I'm even more fascinated this year with Chelsea than we were like the last 6 months of the season, because we were like on
Yeah.
them, but now it's just getting. It looks like worse and worse.
Well, now it's like you able to bring in Pochettino, which is like everyone was kind of arguing last year of like if they can bring him in, then this team will be scary because he can work with them and get them firing and stuff. And like I haven't seen much of a threat anywhere yet. And then like on top of that is like yeah, now you've already spent $1 billion, so like you gotta not only expect results with that, but almost like demand results with that, right? Like that's just a crazy amount of money to spend, and I mean, I think the table kind of flatters them at 14th. Like they should really be lower, but they're getting lucky with these bottom teams this year. But yeah, they're a club in crisis, I'd say. Like it just like you got your new owners and they're spending the money, but there's just no direction really, other than young and willing to sign a long contract.
It's pretty shocking. I like every game for me is almost a must watch,
hmm
and not in a good way.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to continue to do that too. Who we got next week? Brighton. Oh, I'm sorry, that's in the
Oh
cup. They Brighton in the cup. Fulham.
well,
Fulham in league. So
we'll see. I mean, Fulham hasn't been great either, but I think they're showing at least a little bit more promise than Chelsea right now.
yeah, I mean, the draw against Arsenal was Fulham's best outing, and
Mhm.
that was the second game of the season.
Yeah,
Um, we always say it's like, okay, if Chelsea doesn't win this one, what's going to happen? And the one time we did that, they won, and then we
yeah.
took a break, and then coming
I
back. So, what do
mean,
you think? Is this if they lose this one?
well, I mean,
What change you seeing?
see, their issue is that their schedule's not getting any easier.
No, it gets crazy
So like
late
these are the
October.
games you needed to get your points in. Like I'm sure start of season, their goals were top 4, top 6 at minimum. It's clearly not gone that way, but like these are the games you should have been winning to start. And then yeah, you're going away to Fulham, away to Burnley, away to Arsenal. You got Brentford at home, then you go away to Tottenham, then City at home, away to Newcastle, then Brighton at home, then United at home, or away at United. Like they're going into a pretty rough stretch, and unless they can turn some things around, like I don't know, Pochettino makes it to Christmas at this point. Like
I don't know why he would.
yeah, like it's one thing if results aren't coming, but you can kind of like see the vision, see the project, right? And there's just been nothing. There's nothing to like take away from these games and be like, yeah, well, they're working on it, and like you can see the movement's getting better, or like they're getting shots off and all that, but it's just a bunch of guys that just don't look very interested anymore. I think maybe partly because you are on a 8-year contract, so you can kind of just chill.
I mean, you look week to week at their formations and the squad they've been putting out, and every single one is different. So there's no chemistry being built on game days of knowing who's going to be where. I understand there's times when you got to put one player out for another, but everyone is so different. 5 in the back to then 3 in the back to 4 in the back, playing a 4-4-2, trying to get Jackson help with like Sterling off of him. Go back to just one forward and having wingers. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And maybe, yeah, I know like patience is key, but you're really close. I know it's early still, but you're in the bottom. You're going to be fighting at the bottom at this point.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, is just no performance has really looked great or dominant. Like I know they got the one win, but
the Liverpool draw was probably their best game.
It might have been, but like that was already written in stone. Like
yeah, we knew that was coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we gotta get some Chelsea fan on here.
I think we gotta talk to Jordan.
Hear it from the inside. Yeah,
we gotta talk to Jordan. I think it'd be worth it. A team that I'm worried about now, and a team that I thought was going to have a lockdown defense, but due to injury, Brentford, I'm a little worried for them right now.
Yeah.
No Ben Mee, no Rico Henry.
Yeah.
Those guys are crucial.
It's big, and then
of
to
course
lose
no Tony.
3-1.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and to lose 3-1 at home against Everton is like not a good look at all.
No, Everton played with some passion and some heart that day. The Doucouré goal was awesome. Crazy like bounce to go on top of the net, like great angle. I think they were a little hungry, and maybe because they didn't have Ben Mee and Enrico Henry, they knew that defense was susceptible. But now Everton, they're not on the bottom right now. They're even with Chelsea, and so it's like, they're not going to be down there forever if they keep that type of play up. Now, can they do that every game? I don't know. Who knows? But it was nice to see them come out with some fire. And Brentford now, I'm like, I don't know, man. They didn't look so good, and they're in the bottom. I think this table is just going to be split so fast. I mean, we're already kind of on that pace, but I think it's going to continue to be this way.
Yeah, it seems like, almost opposite of last season, where last season it felt like the table was just so tight for so long.
2 at the top, and then 3 through 13 felt like so interchangeable.
Yeah. But I mean, like this season, these bottom teams just can't get anything going. Yeah, I mean, especially the newly promoted teams, like it's just not looking good.
They're not ready.
Not ready. I think definitely, and you'd hate to see Brentford go down after putting some good performances in over the 2 years now. This might be their third of time in the Premier League, and I mean, yeah, you're 1 win, 3 draws, 2 losses. Like you gotta, like, start of the season, I was like, yeah, they just need to stabilize until they can kind of get Tony back, and
right.
This is not doing that. Like, I don't know. You're missing key players. I get it, but you gotta figure out some tactical switch then to just kind of stay afloat. Because I mean, you don't want to get down there in the mess of like jumping in and out of relegation battles and stuff.
They only have 4 goal scorers at the moment. And I think that's. I mean, we all kind of knew that would be their struggle anyway, but I feel like,
Yeah.
We look at other teams. Just for instance, we'll go to Palace. We'll see how many is on there. Oh, wow. Palace is worse. Palace has 3.
Okay.
So bad example. I was going to choose Newcastle, but after this past
Well,
weekend,
I
kind of
have at least 8.
anyway, they need goals. And now with their defense
Yeah.
injured, that just makes it even more of a struggle. Let's see, how many goals scored for them? They're right in the middle with 9. Embuemo inflated that a little bit, but I don't know. I worry for their back line.
Yep. You need Pinnock, I guess, to just step up and play that Ben Mee role and keeping everyone
Really step
organized.
up.
And, yeah.
All right, North London Derby. Should we hit it?
Yeah, let's hit it.
You were so close, Chad. You were so close. Who do you want to blame?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to watch it because, like, got home late from the concert. I was like, I should get up at 6 a.m. and watch this, but then we were also going to Disneyland that day. So it's like, you know what? I'll wake up when I wake up. It was like halftime by the time I woke up. So I was like, I'll kind of key in then. And yeah, I went back and watched most of the game, and it was just kind of a weird one for Arsenal. I mean, already you're missing Martinelli and Trossard, so now you pushed Gabriel Jesus out to the left wing, which I feel like is a little bit of a strange move. I'd rather have Gabriel up top and utilize Reece Nelson. He might not light the game up, but at least he's more of that natural winger, right?
Right.
And Eddie Nketiah is like kind of been on a slow, quiet patch. So, those two out there together, I don't know. I would have made a different choice, but yeah, I thought Arsenal started well. These games are always just so hard. Like, it seems like team form just completely vanishes between the two, and it's a toss up of who can kind of stay more composed on the day, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what we saw here, is like Arsenal were kind of sloppy with a lot of their passing and possession, and both goals that Tottenham got were pretty much from Arsenal mistakes. That first one, I don't know why David Raya punches the ball back into the box, just hit it over the bar. It's
right.
that easy. Like, I saw it initially and I thought it bounced off the crossbar, and I was like, ooh, that's rough. But then I saw the replay and I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, right. It was like, I thought the same thing. It looked unnatural, and I was like, wait a minute, that ball's in play. And then
and then I mean, they don't clear it beyond that. So I mean, it's just Son made pretty much the split-second perfect run to get in between 3 defenders and somehow get on that ball and redirect it perfectly. So
that Son Madison connections, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, they're nice. Doing well. They quickly kind of just like figured out each other, and then filling that Harry Kane hole between the two of them, I guess. I don't know. It was just such a weird game of like, I don't know if Arsenal was just tired from Champions League in the midweek. Like, this is that first kind of like midweek to Sunday, window. So maybe some tired legs from the start there, and Declan Rice coming off at half for a little back injury was definitely not in the game plan. But you gotta adapt, and Jorginho's mostly been fine, but he just had the brain fart today.
It's like that happens with him every now and then. It's probably been a while since we've seen it, but he probably hasn't had a lot of game time, so that's why it hasn't happened beforehand. But that was brutal. That was like, dude, come on.
Yeah. So I mean, look, still haven't lost yet. Like, the draw was 2 points lost for Arsenal. Tottenham maybe could say the same, but at least having gone down twice, they brought back to 1 point. So
Hmm.
um, I think at the end of the day, that's kind of a fair result. Like as good as Arsenal started, they kind of floundered a little bit and just got sloppy and tired, I guess. And Tottenham did well to like keep up the energy and make it a troubling afternoon for Arsenal. But
Hmm.
I was okay to not watch that one. I think looking back, like it would have just been frustrating to watch live.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Kristen did text me when that game was going on. And she
Mhm.
was like, I looked at the score and I was like, I couldn't figure out who Romero was on Arsenal. And I was just like, yep, that would be a Tottenham player. Which
Yeah,
is,
and
that
I
was
don't know.
unfortunate, that own goal.
Yeah, I mean,
The
it
ball was
looked like that.
smashed.
He hit that ball really well. I think it was probably going wide. Um, so yeah, unlucky for Romero, but I don't know if you've noticed, but Saka's been doing this thing where like he does opposing players like trademark celebration. So yeah, he did
Yeah.
Madison's, he did Rashford's before. Like I don't know if this is a
What's
new thing. Or
Rashford's?
he does like the like
Oh yeah, he points the head. That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
Um,
Well, they're all his national teammates. So I
yeah.
mean, he
I
probably
mean,
has a little bit of banter with them.
that's what I think it is. I've seen a lot of comments online of like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't do that and like
Oh
rile up
God,
the opponent." And I was like, "Yeah, but they're all friends,
deep
even
down.
though they're on rival teams and whatever." Like,
Hmm.
it's just poking a little fun, having a little laugh at them as hopefully your team wins. But it would have been sweeter to have those celebrations and get the win.
Yeah,
But at least Arsenal didn't lose because then that would look like just way worse.
absolutely. Would have been a cocky moment that people would look back on. He probably wouldn't do it ever again.
Yeah.
I did see after Son scored his second goal,
Hmm.
the Arsenal crowd in front of him, and it's so funny to see how much like hate gets like, or just angry faces
Yeah.
spewed at him, because like he just seems such a likable person. And
Yeah.
I just saw some ladies like flipping him off, like, this is crazy. It's so funny to see
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
kids, you wanker.
Yeah. I mean, those scenes are always great, whether it's
I know.
against your team or not. It's fun to see how like passionate people can get. And something they have zero control over.
The Holland one's my favorite, where he scored in the late. Give him one of those.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the robot.
The robots.
Another goal for the robot puts him up to 8. Is that 8 on the season? It's 8 on the season.
Yeah.
Getting it done against Forest. No real surprise there.
Yeah.
I guess maybe a tiny surprise just because City's squad isn't as dominant as what we've seen them to be.
Hmm.
I don't want to say they're clicking, but they look like they knew what they were doing from what I saw. It looked like they had a great strategy against Forest, patient, possess, and then go for the killer shot when it was open. And honestly, it didn't look like they had to sweat that much. Matt Turner, felt bad for the guy there. His positioning felt a little rough at times, but again, what are you going to do when a 6'5" giant is in the air above you? Like, where do you position? You can go anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, as much as Pep wanted to hype up Forest before the game,
I know,
we
that
all
was
knew
funny.
Forest wasn't going to do anything. Like,
Forest have more championships. It's like, well, it's a long time ago.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I think the only surprise from this game was Rodri getting the red card. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a big loss. He'll miss the Arsenal game, so I'll take that. And I'm sure Pep kind of let him have it, and like it's playing Forest. Like you don't need to be going in making any dumb challenges or getting any cards, really, right? Like
Right.
it should be pretty much in control from the get go, and it seemed like it was. And then all of a sudden, Rodri just kind of I don't know, got a little too aggressive.
Yeah, he let his mind slip. Adrenaline from Champions League that week, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. Bonehead move, but honestly, that card could open up the title race even more.
yeah,
Of course, there will be players to take that spot, and I don't want to say Rodri is the make or break for
mhm.
City, but pretty crucial when you're going against an Arsenal or a tops
Sure.
team. So, yeah, they'll lose him for 3 games, right? So we'll see
Yeah,
them without they play go Wolves, Arsenal, and Brighton. So potentially 2 huge games
hmm
that could end in an upset, which
yeah.
everyone would be super thankful for. Could you imagine with City with 2 losses in a row? Holy crap,
I mean, yeah, that's the thing is like that's one of those red cards where like every other team probably cheered.
dude, for sure, everyone. And then it put a lot of pressure on Arsenal and Brighton now. Wolves, could you
Yeah,
imagine if Wolves even just take a point? It's like
I mean,
the
yeah, crazy things
scenes,
happen.
the
Jose
scenes.
Stahl could pop off again and
I
just
know.
have a crazy game, and
He's kind of due for one. It's been a couple matches.
hmm
So that it wouldn't shock me at all. I feel like those lower level teams, they're scrappy. They'll
yeah,
fight you. A little more motivated to take you out since you are the best.
hmm
Um, it'd be special if they even got a draw, but no expectations from me.
no,
I'm looking for Arsenal and Brian to do the heavy lifting.
yeah, yeah. I hope
So get it
Arsenal
done.
can kind of shake this off a little bit and just kind of they just got to find their rhythm again. Like
Hmm.
that the Champions League match against PSV was certainly the best they've looked
Yeah, for
and
sure.
played. So if they can just kind of find that groove again, I think I don't want to say it'll be a win over City, but at least a competitive game. And um, you can't be as sloppy as you were against Tottenham, and
Hmm.
City will definitely capitalize on that.
All right, let's jump to the Liverpool game here.
Another 3-1.
Another 3-1. We're good at it, Chad. I'm telling you, that's going to be our new, and that's fine with me. And this time
Yeah.
we didn't let them score first, which that's kind of been our thing. It's like, call the ambulance, but not for me. Like that's us.
Yeah, yeah. See, they're improving. Just you get the goal first, and
Uh-huh.
then
It's
at
it's
some point we'll let the other team
it,
go.
it, it's false security. It's to
Yeah.
lower their self confidence, whatever you want to call it. But that's our fourth 3-1 victory on the year.
Jeez.
Third in the EPL. So, hey man, a win's a win. Get it done. Took it against at that point Newcastle or West Ham was number 3, so we'll call it against a top 3 team.
Yeah.
Um, Gotta say, Jared Bowen's goal was probably the highlight of that game.
Uh-huh.
Nunez was a close, I think, second for me, but the way that Bowen got to that ball in the air and headed it back and then still found a
Yeah.
run, amazing stamina. He's, I think, surprised all of us with his start. We were kind of Bowen haters, and now
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, if Salah's gonna bounce in a year or two, I wouldn't mind you coming and play right wing for us. Just
There you
saying,
go.
just saying.
I mean, yeah. Like I think he's one to keep an eye on, right? Like
Hmm.
he's, I guess maybe always kind of performed well in a West Ham team that wasn't necessarily performing well. Um, and then this year, they started much better and brought in some key players, and it seems to have kind of, I guess, maybe freed him up a little bit, right? Like he's not the only threat out there anymore for West Ham, so he can make those runs and kind of make the switches on the field and lose his defender and stuff, and it's West Ham. So on paper, I feel like Liverpool should have won already, but like how well they've started this year, it could have went either way. I feel like on the day, no, but leading up to it, I wasn't really sure which way it was going to go.
Yeah, I felt pretty good now that Virgil was back,
Mm-hmm.
well rested. I think it really makes our point even more clear that last year he was not playing like
Oh,
this because of the World Cup. Like honestly, it's night and day. So I think just having that presence for everyone is just so. And Robertson too, man. Robertson's killing it right now. Like I think there's something about him going to play with his national team where it brings out this just like leadership quality. And because of the World Cup, he wasn't doing that last year, and I just think this brought out a new fire with him trying to get into Euros,
yeah,
or World Cup and Euros and qualifying and everything. Like that's just brought out a different beast on that left side. So I don't know, man. I'm really liking our team. It's a bummer this
yeah,
squad isn't in Champions League, but it would not shock me if they go deep in Europa, and who knows with Premier League. But I think they are built for that, barring
yeah.
injury. We don't have Trent right now. He's still getting his leg back, but I don't know. This squad is just clicking.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a little bit of just they all got pulled through the mud last season and just couldn't get things to work out, whether it's injuries or just unlucky on a lot of things. So I think maybe like that kind of maybe renewed a little bit of focus and desire in the team to like not have to go through that again, because I'm sure that's just not fun for players, right? Like,
Right.
especially when you were at like the highest of highs, and then a couple seasons later you're struggling to get a win, and like, I mean, yeah, you still put 7 past United, so we'll comment on that. But
Could you imagine if we played Sheffield on that day?
that would have been dirty.
But those things you say can be totally true about West Ham as well, which I find that to be kind of funny. I mean, it's such a down year for them where they're in the relegation, but then they win the Europa Conference. So it's like, what a crazy mindset that they must have been in. So I think it was a game of two teams that have the same mentality on what they want to try to accomplish this year. And I think for West Ham, it probably is top 4. And I think for Liverpool, it's a title, which at this rate, like, I think we're going to be right there. I think with Arsenal, with City, that 4th team that's maybe going to pop up there, Brighton can keep going. That wouldn't shock me either. So get this stat, though. Nunez has had a goal on every 141 minutes, a goal or assist on 107. Compare this to our other elite strikers we've had in the past. Mo Salah does this at 134 minutes. Fernando Torres 135, Suarez 138, Danny Sturridge 140.
Oh wow!
So he's already right there, and he's got one full season under his belt. But I think this rate is gonna just get lower. I mean, he's with the best strikers we've had in the last 20 years, and I feel like everyone's in this rush mode to get things out of him. He's like, no, he's already doing it. We just don't see that for whatever reason. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing with him.
A little bit of like, just because like player prices have like ballooned, and they spent a lot of money on him. I think the fans get that expectation that this person's going to come in and just immediately click with the team, and if it's a striker, score a bunch of goals and cause chaos, which Darwin causes chaos.
Caused a lot of chaos.
Yeah, he just wasn't finding the goals or the assists. But like, now as he's had a year and grown into the team, and his connections with Salah and Jota or Diaz on the left, whoever's playing, it's starting to all come together. Like it's looking like that scary Liverpool attack again, where it's just like they get the ball and everyone's fucking going.
Dude, it's like kind of terrifying when you see that charge. It's like, have you seen the big green?
Yeah,
it's like the goal when like
exactly
they all turn into ninjas and shit. And they're just like, oh my god. And now what's kind of unfortunate is Gakpo's now not seeing a ton of time. So it's like this rotation of strikers. I don't know. It's going to be kind of weird what happens and who's Klopp's favorite. Iconic picture of him with his hand on McAllister's leg. Did you see that one? It's like father-son moment over there. I'm just like, oh my god, this team is wild.
Yeah,
too wild. Yeah. So again, we're looking nice. We have Tottenham next. Let's see, Friday. I think it's the Friday game.
Next. No, you're Saturday.
It's Saturday. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that'll be a good one. Two top teams, fast teams going at it. Madison might not be there though, so that's kind of a crucial one for Tottenham. I think if they
Yeah.
don't have Madison, that's going to hurt them quite a bit.
I didn't hear if there was any update really. I was just still being assessed. So, yeah. I mean, if Madison doesn't make that trip, then that's a whole different Tottenham side you're going
For sure.
against. So, I don't know. I the biased in me will say that Tottenham will lose. But if it's a fully fit squad, then I think it could be pretty back and forth. I think Liverpool will still edge it out a little bit though.
Oh, and Perisic out for the season.
Out for the season?
Yep.
Yeesh.
Tore his anterior cruciate in his right knee. So, and with his age, I think he's 35,
34.
Yeah, so
that might be it.
That's
at the
close
top
to
level,
career.
at least.
Yeah, it might be close to career ending, which is a big bummer. Great player.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chad. Castle, 8-0. First goal.
Well, okay.
Do you want to say what you want to say first? Because that's this game already started off wrong for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I hadn't watched anything before you sent me that text of this first goal shouldn't count.
Okay, so let's just paint a picture here. The ball hits the grass, hits the line, bounces up. Do you think it went out?
At that point, no.
I don't think it did either. Did it hit his hand?
Oh, it clearly hit his hand.
Okay.
There was no question on that.
What world do we live in, Chad, when you can hit a ball against your hand and it doesn't get called for a handball when it's clearly maybe not a purposeful handball, but it had influence on that play.
Yeah. And
so much.
That's, I think, the key point is we've seen these calls before where it does hit a hand and it kind of leads to a goal, right? And then they call it back for handball. And this didn't directly lead to a goal, but set the ball up so he could make the pass to then get the goal. So I think you have to call that a handball. And I don't know. I guess it was a goal, so VAR would have checked it. And they were looking at the out of bounds potentially, but just handball was fine. They just overlooked it, I guess.
Well, even the commentary, it didn't really say much about the hand. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I guess that's true too. Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I don't remember hearing much. I was trying to focus on the picture and see if it really hit his hand, because there was such little talk that I thought it was a trick of the angles sort of thing, but from what I could tell, it looked like it bounces up, hits his hand.
It was just shocking to me that wasn't made a bigger deal. I don't know. Yeah. And I feel it was the first goal of the game, right? That can just set you in a mindset where you don't want to, you're already down on yourself.
Yeah.
And so I understand you got to fight circumstances and come back from that, but it just puts your team into a different spot. I'm just shocked that was not called a handball. That was just crazy. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I feel like we're going to see, that this play on that, the VAR mic'd up show, but
this is right. This is the one we need to see.
Yeah. I don't know, because there was such a little complaint or talk about the handball that it almost feels like we're just making it up.
Oh, it's funny. I'm on Premier League highlights for their game, and they don't show the camera edit goes to right after he hits it down, and it shows that sideline replay. That's shady. What? That's shady. Newcastle. It's on Newcastle's YouTube.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Whoa. I have to tweet them on that.
Yeah, they know what they were doing.
That's wow. But anyway, they put a thump in.
I mean, yeah, like I just don't know if you can take too much from this game. Like,
No, I take very little. Their goal differential
yeah,
now is in the positives because of this, and
yeah, Sheffield's not looked great. Is it? Did they look bad enough to put up, give up 8 goals? Probably not, but again, like
maybe
maybe,
they're
but
they
like I don't think tactically you can go and look back at this and be like, yeah, like this tactic just really worked and destroyed them. And but like it's just like Sheffield is not playing well, right? And um, that they have a handful of injuries themselves, which I don't know if that would have helped anything, but it's just better team beating up on a not so good team right now. And credit to Newcastle for getting the 8 goals. That's certainly a feat, but if this was 8 goals against, I don't know,
Man
like
U.
a Man U, Aston Villa, or something, or like
Yeah,
even like a Palace or Fulham, I'd say it'd be more impressive than against Sheffield.
he did it against a team that didn't win a game this year, and they, man, I don't know when Sheffield's going to get it done. To be honest,
Yeah,
West
yeah,
Ham, Fulham, and Man U for Sheffield next.
it's gonna be that Man U game.
That'd be special, wouldn't it?
Man U will
That would be
just
something.
continue to crumble, and then Sheffield will come in and just capitalize on it, and somehow would get a win.
The breaking point. That would be insane. All right, other games: Palace and Fulham, 0-0. Nothing too special going on over there. Anything you want to highlight?
Honestly, I saw it was 0-0 and didn't even watch the highlights.
Yeah,
So
not worth it for me. Nothing. No one got injured though, so you got nothing altering there. Luton and the Wolves. That straight red. Yeah, I think that was deserved.
yeah,
The PK for Luton, man, I thought Saw was gonna nab it. I
yeah.
thought that was gonna be the one. And Morris, I don't know much about this Morris guy, but I'm hearing a lot of talk in the fantasy premier world where people are asking if they should buy him because he's starting to get his foot on the ball. He has 2 goals on the season. I think 2 in the last 2. So I think that's why people are like, okay, is this going to be the guy who's scoring?
Yeah.
So pay attention to that name, Carlton Morris.
Okay. Okay.
I'll be watching for him because they're desperate for anything at this point.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Luton is a kind of like growing into the Premier League. I think it'll be too little, too late to stay up, but
Yeah.
they're looking more comfortable than they did in those first few games.
Oh, and then Forest and Burnley. That was from. Oh, I guess this wasn't counted as last week. I was in my wrong section, but I want to just talk about the red card they got. Burnley. I know this is already a week ago, but
Yeah. Let me.
the Burnley players. It was against the Forest game on Monday. The Burnley players tried to talk to the referee in this game, and I've noticed this in a couple other games, and the ref is just going to his pocket really fast and pulling a card on him. And when I think it was their captain that they carded extremely quick, and the captain was like, look, I'm just trying to talk to you. Like, I need to be able to talk to you. And you could tell he was genuinely talking like that to it wasn't a screaming match. It wasn't like in his face. He was like, I can't even approach you. Like, I need to be able to, this is what a captain's supposed to do. And I know we've seen a lot of cards come out fast in other situations, but I'm wondering if the refs are finally like just fed up with how they've been treated, or is this like a new law they're trying to implement, being like, you can't even like talk to us at this point?
Maybe a little of both. Like, I know they have been cracking down on like players asking for yellow cards and stuff. But and that's fine. Does it feel punishable? I don't think so. Like that, and a harsh tackle don't weigh the same in my mind. Like,
Sure.
if they continue to do it, then okay, you're being annoying. Like, here you go. But at at the very least, the captains need to be able to go over and have a conversation. And if in that they ask like, why was this not a yellow card? I don't think that's them asking like, hey, like do your job, give a yellow card. It's like they're just trying to understand how you're going to call this game, right? Like if that first Newcastle goal is not a handball, then all right. If the ball's getting close to the end line, guys, just like go bump it back in with your hand because we're good to go. Like
Mm-hmm.
because that happened too in the Arsenal Tottenham game. Odegaard got a yellow card for who's the captain for talking to the ref, and like he kind of gestured for like asking for a yellow, but like again, I think you got to give captains some leeway. There got to be some dialogue and conversation that at least the ref and captains can have. Like other players, okay, if you want to be strict on it, go for it, but like captain should be the one that can kind of argue with you, right? Like
And this is why refs need to be able to do post game shows too, because that question would be asked: why did you give Odegaard that yellow when he approached you? And he could have the chance to explain. Well, he came up to me and said, "Hey, wanker," and then it's like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
I get that.
That could be the case.
Give him a
like,
card if he did that to you. Understandable." But we don't even know. We'll never know. So it's and Odegaard will probably never know either. Because in the moment, I'm sure maybe after the game, they can maybe explain it to them as we see them all kind of interact a lot. I don't know. I just, again, the transparency from officiating to fans, it just needs to improve. And it's the one sport that's trying, I guess. They're trying to do it, but they get to pick and choose when they do it. It's not like a football or a basketball game when we see them go into the booth and we get to hear the refs talk a little bit or have the head of directing referees talk to us. It's not the same. But hey, the more we complain about it, it seems like the more they're trying. So let's just keep complaining.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to make steps in the right direction. Like Women's World Cup, after the VAR review, the ref would kind of explain like what happened with the call and how it ended up as it did. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. I wouldn't be mad at like, I don't need the refs to communicate over the stadium PA like football. But if I don't know, commentators clearly have some level of connection, I guess, to the conversations, because they know when like a VAR check is happening behind the scenes and all that. So if the ref could just explain it to VAR, I guess, of like why I'm giving this yellow card, and then VAR can just like, I don't know, post that or make a little note of it, and then commentators can just be like, oh yeah, Odegaard got a yellow card for calling him a wanker, like that could help just kind of clarify a lot of these random yellow cards that we're starting to see.
Well, with other sports too, and the way officiating has to talk not only to the audience or the crowd, they have to talk to the statisticians. Because if a play is happening and they're noting it and tracking it, they then have to fix it, change it, alter it because of this new thing that is now there. And I guess in soccer you don't really need to do that because there isn't. I don't know. I guess there isn't much to explain. It's pretty simple. They don't have to reset a clock. They don't got to change much. So again, I feel like it'd be so fast and so easy for them to just look into a camera and be like, "This is what's happening." Play on, drop ball, whatever it is, goal kick, and then move on. Like, at least we get something.
Yeah, but I guess that's true too. Like, so often, to be a yellow card, and there is the moment in time of, card is handed out, other team runs up, grabs the ball, places it down, kicks it. So like, there is that window of time to just kind of give us a little blurb of like why. And then if it's like they take the ball real quick and go, like, all right, you didn't get to explain it, but that doesn't happen all the time. So like those would be few and far between. And
situational.
Yeah.
Be flexible, refs.
Yeah, come on now.
Let us help you.
I think the last game we got to talk about is Brighton and Messi Matoma.
Oh, dude, he's so good. Okay, yeah. So the first goal, I forgot about this game. This is a game I really wanted to talk about. Sunday League football, Chad, out there. That looked like me in my first year of El Dorado Rec League. Hey, you play keeper? Yeah, kinda.
I know what that word means.
Yeah. Use your hands. That was terrible. I don't know what went through his mind. I'm sure Jason Steele was saying like,
coming back.
that or get me out of here. I don't know which one. Yeah, I don't think Verbruggen, I don't think he's playing next game. I just have a weird feeling. Just got a weird feeling in me that Steele is going to be the next starter.
Yeah. That's certainly like one of the more surprising keeper brain lapses. Like
that was bad.
Yeah, it felt like he just froze. Like he didn't. Maybe he didn't see the pressure coming, or he felt it too hard.
He was gonna boot the ball, and then did a split second like hesitation, and then that's when I don't know who grabbed the ball from him. Must have just been their center mid, and then Shalanky just easy chip like right in the back, like piece of cake. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
The own goal was, a little unfortunate, but then super sub at half. I caught a little bit of the first half, and I was like, Matoma's not playing. I was like, oh my God. And I saw no injury reports. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then 17 seconds into the second half, comes in, amazing run, great goal. He's so fun to watch. Damn it, man. Yeah. This Brighton team is like so fun, but now they're going to be at the top again. I got to like kind of root against them. It sucks. This is not a team I want to root against.
Yeah. I mean, Matoma just seems to have kind of picked up from where he was last year, right? Like, still just electric and can dribble through multiple guys and still find an accurate finish. And I mean, when he's on it like that, it's so fun to watch him play and
he's so
watch
fast.
Like Brighton play with him. Like, he seems like raised the level of the team too. So that's just I want him to stay at Brighton for a long time, but I think people are going to start knocking here soon.
Who do you think's going to go for him?
I wouldn't be surprised to see like a PSG try and come in.
Ooh, you think he'll go out of England?
I mean, I don't know if he'll go, but they're PSG's losing Mbappe, pretty much decided. I think PSG's maybe learned a little bit of a lesson and isn't going to go for like the big star names. So like Matoma's a star, well known, but still pretty quiet as far as like the top of the top teams. I don't want to see that happen. I could just see them trying to throw some money at Brighton, and Brighton seems to be pretty good about like, you just meet our price. Like, we don't really want to negotiate with you, but like, meet our price and
for real,
have at it.
Yeah, I look at all the other teams, and I don't really see a spot where I'd really want him to go. I could maybe see United taking a swing at him if Rashford is just not what they think is going to be their answer. I feel like Rashford might not be with Man U forever. That's kind of just the sense I'm getting. I don't know where he could go, but I don't know. I feel like everyone kind of has that left wing role kind of filled at the moment. I guess Tottenham maybe with Son leaving, or not leaving, but getting a little older.
Yeah, and he's kind of playing more centrally now anyway. So
it could actually shoot. He could slot in there probably pretty good then.
Yeah.
Especially with Perisic out, and he's usually going to left wing. Ooh, I don't want him to go to Tottenham. Please don't go to Tottenham.
No, that would be a disaster.
No, I'd be so upset. But yeah, I think Brighton is just going to keep scoring a lot, nice and fast. Ferguson hasn't done much though. He's kind of cooled off, but he must be having some gravity for Matoma to be making those runs. Like, yeah,
for sure.
Hot knife through butter, dude.
I mean, it still says a lot about the presence that Ferguson is bringing as he's 18, 19. Like, he's just
a baby.
Yeah, he shouldn't be getting like shown so much respect on the pitch, but he is, because if you don't respect him, then he's gonna put the 3 goals past you. Like, so yeah, Brighton's seems to be firing on all cylinders. Although they did lose their Europa League match, which I thought was pretty
Yeah, I think
surprising.
everyone was kind of shocked by that one.
So I don't know what happened there. Didn't see it, but maybe that would be their little wake up call for European games. Are just a little bit different.
Yeah, were they in? They played Athens. I don't know if they were at home or not.
Yeah, they were at home.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, they gave up a pretty late goal.
They,
But
they dominated the heat map.
yeah, stat wise, it beyond possession, like it looks mostly fair.
No dunk. I think that's pretty crucial.
Yeah, so they might just have to find that balance of rotation with Europa League. Like
First
there are
time's
going to be
hard.
yeah. There's definitely the games where you can fully rotate and keep James Milner out there because he's still playing.
Right. Right. Got to do it.
Just those other games are like you do got to come out a little bit stronger.
Ansu Fati got on the field, which is cool to see him. I'm like curious to see how he does.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how he kind of fits into this team and if he can do some of his like Barcelona stuff. Like he had some like really great plays at Barcelona that kind of got passed around the soccer world and then kind of went quiet and got injured. And
Do you think this could be like the Odegaard Real Madrid move, where it's like, oh yeah, you guys can have him for a little bit? They're like, we want to keep him, and then they keep him, and he just becomes amazing.
I mean, maybe like
He's 20. How old's Odegaard
yeah.
right now? 24.
23, 24.
So this is roughly the same kind of path.
Yeah. So I mean, and like, yes, it's Barcelona, so that name just kind of holds like a weight. But I think if you're on loan at another team, Brighton was probably maybe not on your list necessarily, but like when you got word that it was Brighton and you like looked into them, you're like, this team looks pretty sick. Like,
Yeah.
they're at least like not battling for relegation the whole time and like all that stress. They're actually competing, so I think he'll be happy there.
I think he had a pretty cringeworthy, like not entrance, but his highlight reel or whatever that they did for him. I'll have to show it to you. It was like it didn't look too great. It didn't look like he was really excited either. But I did want to note this. I was curious what his contract looked like, and if Brighton had the possibility to buy him, and they do, but there is a $1 billion release clause.
Oh wow! So call up Chelsea. They got the billion ready to go.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he did sign with Barcelona until 2027, but yeah, the release clause is $1 billion. So I don't think Brighton will go for that.
Yeah, that'll take some effort on his part to like
$1 billion. What the
get
hell?
out of there.
Who else is on $1 billion release clause?
It's got to be like Jude Bellingham. He might be $2 billion now. I don't know. Yeah, any of those young, like promising players.
That's just ridiculous. Like, come on. I want someone to do it. Someone's got to do it. Vinny Jr. Rodrigo with Madrid.
Oh wow.
Arejo with Barcelona. Ferran Torres, Gavi, Pedri.
Do you like release clauses, or do you prefer like Premier League doesn't really do release clauses, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if someone wants to really throw down a fat chunk to get a player, like okay, but also it's that player is not going to be that motivated to come to you. At least I don't, unless they're expressing it like you need to get me out of here. I don't know why they would want that. So no, not really. But I mean, it is a business too. So like,
yeah, like I think I'm okay with the concept, but I feel like there has to be some, I guess, like regulation on like what it could be. Like it can't be $1 billion. Like no player's worth it, right?
It's stupid.
But so it should be like market value. I don't know, times 1.5, 2. Like because you want it to be protected, right? You don't want just okay, well he's 30 million, even though you bought him for 27 or whatever, like then we just take him.
Yeah,
Like you
boom,
want to,
sold.
yeah, you want to get some extra money out of that if you're losing a player early. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really affect Arsenal or anything, but a billion is just. Why even put it on there? Just put no release clause.
No, like, come on. What's the point? What is the point? This is just going to inflate the market even more, and eventually this number will be, 2 billion.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if this is an older article. I don't know. I'm curious about Jude's though.
Oof.
I bet it climbs.
At least a billion. I mean,
At this point, yeah, for sure.
yeah, they probably just made an alteration over these first 4 games or whatever. It's like, yep, that was the old price.
All right, Chad. Let's hit our team goal and player of the week.
Oh boy.
Should we do player since we just kind of, at least the one I think we just kind of talked about?
Yeah, Matoma is definitely like. I mean, especially to come in at a halftime and like be an impact sub and immediately
Game winner. You got the game winner
Yeah.
17 seconds into the game, or 17 seconds into his entry.
Yeah. So
I don't know what beats that.
I like that. I mean, yeah. Otherwise, like there were certainly like some good performances, like. But I just don't think anyone beats that. Like that, he just kind of put the team on his back and like said, "We're getting the win."
The Ollie Watkins goal, I think, was a sign of never giving up, because he was getting well defended and had to essentially shoot the ball twice in a matter of a second, which is really hard to do, to stay balanced and not, I guess, a lot of players shoot the ball, and if it gets blocked, they don't fight for it again. It's already shot gone, and he stuck with it. But yeah, Matoma for me is, I think, the quick and easy answer.
For sure, yeah.
All right, the team. This one's conflicting for me.
Oh, by goal tally, Newcastle should have it, but I don't think 8 past the struggling Sheffield side is necessarily worth it.
Isn't that crazy? An 8-0 game, you're like, eh.
Look, we got high standards here, okay?
It's like, I don't know. I think they could have done better, and I'm like not even kidding by that. Like, I think they maybe could have got 9 or even 10.
Yeah. I mean, it is cool to have 8 separate goal scorers in that, right? Like that's pretty unique.
Yeah, that is true.
So I feel like I'm okay to give them like an honorable mention here, but if it wasn't Sheffield's or any of the bottom teams, I think I definitely would have been more impressed.
Yeah. For me, I think I want to give it to Everton. First win of the season against Brentford, a team known for the defense, and it put up 3. You even text me, or I don't know if you texted Discord to me, but
Discord,
it was like, it was like Everton?
Everton?
Like, what the hell? And then I was like, what? Like, no way. I thought I read it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and to go away from home and get that result, like it definitely was not expected.
No.
Especially having watched them play Arsenal last week, they just had like no passion, desire, or fight last week, and this week they came out and gave Brentford a hurting.
I'm good with it if you are.
Yeah.
The Toffees, can't believe they got team of the week. And then the goal. Okay, this one for me, I thought there were a lot of good ones. My favorite, kind of already said it. The Bowen goal was awesome. The Nunez goal, that touch was beautiful. The Watkins goal, never giving up. And then the Decore goal with the crazy ground shot. And even Foden too. I thought Foden had a sick one.
Foden's nice, yeah.
I love those bounce shots.
I'd add Bruno in there.
Forgot about that one. That one was, damn, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I mean, just to time that kick perfectly and watch the ball come down and get some good power on it still and on target was certainly impressive.
Honorable mention. It's just a PK, but Salah's PK finally looked like he can hit a ball again. I was getting a little worried, but that
He
one
let some anger out.
he fucking smoked. Jesus, dude. My God, there's some power behind it. And then he kicked the ball like almost into the cameraman. I was like, what's he
What's he
doing?
gonna do? The fans, they were like, ah!
Like, oh, dude, I would have done the same thing. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the top ones. That Solanke again, easy goal, but he had to put some quick thinking into it. Holland, the robot, just jumped up so high. Not worthy of it, but this is a tough one. Yeah, I've seen it before plenty of times.
Yeah.
I think
I think my favorite was probably Matoma's first, but since we already gave him player, I don't want to give him two. Like, he deserves it, but like, let's spread it around. I like Bruno's goal.
yeah, I think it's got to be Bruno for me. I mean, I really like the Bowen one though.
Yeah, that Bowen one's. I love the goals that like players kind of set up for themselves like that, and then especially just to like get down and like head it away from your momentum like that is like certainly takes a lot of skill. And but man, I think it's just because that delivery to Bruno was from like so far away.
That's crazy. I did watching him kind of wind up to and time it when they did the slow motion replay back was really, really nice. His celebration, thought it could have been a little better. Thought it was kind of like sad. I think he's kind of sad, Bruno, right now. And I don't really blame him for being sad. I just thought like it was just kind of like
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, you scored a world class goal there. Like,
Yeah.
not even a little more than that. So I think that shows the emotions right now that are going through Man United.
Yeah, not great.
So, but we're judging the goal, not the celebration. Yeah, I like the Bruno goal. I think we'll run with that.
I think Bruno takes it. Yeah, a handful of good goals this week, but you just don't ever see them like that. So I think you got to go for it.
Deserve it, kid. All right, for fantasy chat, I'm a little nervous now. My team. This is old Romero is back. My forwards, they did okay. You know, I got the Holland goal, I got the Watkins goal, I got the Salah goal. But my defense now, that's been my strong point. I think, you know, Trippier, everyone's gonna get those Trippier points.
Yeah.
But I think the Romero, Matt Turner, you know, Anderson still got the clean sheet, and I can't remember who my other. But now Tarkowski's coming alive.
Yeah, gets a goal.
I'm getting. I got a good lead, but I think after we do points, I will. That lead's gonna shrink.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now I feel like is a good time to make a change because you're still being a little bit more proactive, right? Rather than letting everyone catch up or pass you. You just got to make the right change.
I think Casemiro might get a boot. Just saying.
Really?
I think Casemiro might be up there. Matt Turner's on the chopping block. I think there's other teams getting a lot of clean sheets, and Forest hasn't gotten. They got one.
Struggling.
And it was against Chelsea. So, yeah, I'm gonna think about some moves here pretty soon.
Yeah, well, take it from me. If you sub out Darwin Nunez and put Diaz in, Diaz is going to stop playing, stop scoring.
See, shout outs to Brian. He just subbed out Ollie Watkins, and I was like, that's not I get that. You got the goal. Yeah. You finally got the goal. You did. You wanted one. You couldn't not get one, except for your chat. Sorry. And then see what happens. But I don't know. I don't know if I want a different forward. So I'm curious. I'm just curious what's going to happen after this week. I feel like there's going to be. I think I'm going to be at the top still. Like there's no way anyone's catching me yet. But I think 2 through 10 are going to catch me just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it beyond like you and what kind of like 15th place, like 2 through 14's all fairly tight in points. So it's gonna be a lot of movement in there. I think people start to realize they got to make some subs to separate themselves a little bit. I saw Brian's putting in James Ward-Prowse. Like, I get it. I wish you would have gave me a little more time with him alone, though. So yeah, we'll see. We'll do these points and
All right.
see where it moves.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
All right, y'all. Episode 44, Hooligan's Pitch. We did it again. Chad, go get some sleep, my dude.
Yeah.
You look a little tired. But we'll be back next Sunday.
Yeah.
Got some big matches this week, and then can't wait to talk to you about them. So until then, all right. Hooligan's out. Peace.
Peace.